How can paying more for your lunch actually feel good? Well, that's what we're going to discuss today on Briefly Good. Welcome. I'm your host, Scott. This is our first episode, and I just want to say thank you for joining me. Our first feel good story is about someone you may know. His name is Jaden Smith. If you're not familiar with Jaden Smith, you probably know his dad, Will Smith. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Independence Day. What else is he in? All kinds of stuff. You guys know Will Smith. He's getting jiggy with it. Anyways, Will's son, Jaden, was coming up on his 21st birthday. And unlike a lot of people who are probably planning some bar hopping, maybe a weekend vacation with friends or whatever, Jaden had a little bit of a different idea. We're going to get into that in a minute. But first, we need to describe the area, the scene where this is all happening. This is in Skid Row. In East Los Angeles, California, there's an area called Skid Row, which is about 50 city blocks. It's the home to the largest homeless population in the U.S. Estimates of how many people is somewhere between 4,500 to 15,000, depending on the time. It's pretty much about as bad as you can get. The community is riddled with mental health illnesses, drug addictions, and lots of crime, unfortunately. So imagine just for a minute, you're walking down the street in Skid Row and you get all these tent cities around you. You know, people living in filth, people that are just out of their minds on drugs. Mental illness is affecting everyone around. Pretty sad state of affairs. In the middle of all of this, you see a truck. It's a pretty modern looking food truck. Seems to be a lot of activity going on around it. When you get closer to the truck, typical stuff. A menu, a line of people. Thing that's different about this is there's no prices. There is a sign that says, "I love you." So what's behind all this, right? What's Jaden's idea? Well, Jaden was raised with some very good morals, and Jaden figured that everyone deserves a good meal, no matter who they are. So for Jaden's 21st birthday, he decided he was going to open the I Love You restaurant food trucks. And this is the truck I'm just talking about. It started with one food truck on Skid Row in Los Angeles. And Jaden's idea was, let's bring good, healthy meals to people who can't afford them, because everyone deserves a good meal, right? I think we can all agree on that. But for Jaden, it wasn't just about providing nutritious energy sources for people in need. It was about treating people with respect and dignity and pretty much just making them be seen as humans, which a lot of times people under these circumstances are not looked at that way. The meals, they're going to be healthy, vegan, nutrient-based grain bowls, just vibrant colors, full of everything you need to keep yourself fueled for the day. So here's the catch, and this is why there are no prices in the I Love You sign there. Jaden's idea is all based on a pay what you can formula. So for those people who are in a better financial standing in their lives, they're going to pay a little bit more for lunch, maybe $5 to $10 more. And all this money goes towards people's meals who can't afford them. So the system kind of feeds itself, literally. So Jaden started this idea in July of 2019. And since then, it's grown into something a lot bigger. An actual brick and mortar restaurant in West Hollywood. Some of these I Love You food trucks are showing up in other cities, specifically one in Harlem. And Jaden doesn't plan on stopping there. Jaden has a nonprofit called 501c3, where there's another initiative that Jaden is tackling, clean drinking water. This project is called Water Box, and it's been paired up with these I Love You food trucks in different cities. Done very well. For example of that combining the water with the food aspect, he had one event in Harlem. They served over 500 meals. They also gave out Metro cards to those who needed them. Jaden also teamed up with another nonprofit called Cafe Gratitude, and this collaboration raised funding for 10,000 vegan bowls. I personally think this is just a great idea. And let's be honest, we're not all celebrities. We don't all have unlimited funding, and not all of us have a huge platform because maybe we don't have parents that are in Hollywood. But that doesn't mean that we can't make a difference in the things that we do. Being seen and being treated like a human was just as important to Jaden as giving them some nutrition. So that's how you paying a little more for your lunch can be helpful and actually make you feel great. So when I first read about this story, it was something new to me. The concept wasn't new though. Actually, it's something I'm very familiar with. For a good part of 15 years, I've been following a Boston-based band called the Adam Ezra Group. The Adam Ezra Group is a folk rock kind of band. I guess you would describe them as the best. They have almost the exact same thing at their concerts. At their merchandise table, they have the normal stuff: hats, stickers, t-shirts, some of their CDs, and other things you can pick up. They have an I Love You box. And just like Jaden's formula, you pay what you can. At most of these concerts, they're at small clubs. Adam, who's the lead singer, We'll describe the I love you box. He tells everyone if you're down to your last dollar, just grab something. And if you've got a little extra, throw it in and help out the guy before you. I was always blown away by this, and it really drew me into the band. So when I started researching Jaden's story, I knew full and well what a great idea it is and how it makes people feel. Because I know that I've thrown a few extra bucks in at shows to help someone else out who maybe just wants to take a piece of the show home with them. I'm sure some of you probably had the same experience at a coffee shop or something to pay it forward. You pull up to the drive-up window and they tell you someone before you has paid for your order. Pretty cool, right? Usually starts your day out on a good note. So that basically sums up this story. You don't have to have tons of money to make a huge impact, but just be aware of what's around you. And don't be afraid to help someone out who's in need. It'll actually make you feel better too. So on these weekly shows, I want to combine a whole bunch of stuff. The idea is a feel-good story like we just had. I want to give you some tips or strategies or products that can help you feel better, feel more positive. So much negative stuff out there. I needed this, and I thought there's got to be a ton of other people that are maybe looking for the same thing. So my first tip is my own personal one that I've used in my own life. I was getting really worn down by all the news I was watching, and it was just really dragging me down, making me think about things that weren't positive at all. So I began to restart some of my social media feeds with a new profile and just looking at positive things that were making me feel good. It was part of me creating the show. And all of a sudden, I started noticing a difference in how I was feeling, actually. My main objective when I started this was to make other people feel better. And early in the beginning of starting this, it started making me feel better too, which I didn't expect, but I'll take it. So I want you to give that a shot. Let me know how it's working for you. It might take a week or so, depending on how much you're on social media. But it changed my whole feed around, and it changed the information I was putting in my brain and started making me feel better when I went on social media, which was rare for me. I want this to really be a back and forth kind of show where I get a lot of information from you guys. I'll spit some of that back out to you that I feel is relevant or helpful. Have you ever been involved in a pay it forward type situation? Either you're the one who paid or someone paid for you. I'd love to hear about it. Maybe you've even seen Adam Ezra in the Boston area or somewhere else where he's touring around the United States. I'd be happy to chat with you about that too. So reach out to me at brieflygood@hotmail.com or click on my link in the bio to find everywhere else you can find my show. I'm not only doing stuff on YouTube, I'm putting this all over audio podcasts. Hopefully you see me all over the place. I hope today's episode leaves you feeling a little bit more positive. And if there's someone in your life who you think could use a little boost or would enjoy this, please share it with them. And the way I want to wrap these up every week is give you a positive quote. Today's quote is, "Keep your face always towards the sunshine, and the shadows will fall behind you." And it's from Walt Whitman. And that's it for Briefly Good this week. I'm Scott. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope to see you next week.